Happy Sunday night, guys. Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina, coming to you live for our Sunday night live stream fishing show. Hopefully you guys are ready for another great Sunday night live stream show with us here at Hubbard's Marina. We're excited for another one, and we're going to go live on Facebook here, and we're going to get started. We're looking forward to another great show. It's always a good time spending Sunday night with you guys. Hi, Facebook. Thanks for tuning in. Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina. We're live on YouTube and Facebook for our Sunday night live stream fishing Q&A show. This is every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Well, I should say most Sunday nights at 8:30 p.m. for an hour. We're actually going to give away free fishing trips during this tonight's show, so hopefully y'all are ready for another good show. Tonight we've got fishing tips, tricks, and more fishing techniques, and we're going to be giving away a free fishing trip. If you're not watching this live, if you're not watching this Sunday night, January 6th at 8:30 p.m., you won't have a chance for the free fishing trips, but you can go ahead and skip forward to where you see the video start, and you can still enjoy the great fishing tips, tricks, more that we share during the show, and you can stay tuned with us. If you are watching this live, you do have a chance to win free fishing trips. All you have to do is go to our website, hubbardsmarina.com, click fishing trips, scroll down to the live Q&A fishing shows. You'll find the event link for our live Q&A show there. You can follow that to the event link. Make sure you click interested on the event link for me, and then go ahead and share this video, like this video, subscribe to our channel, like our page, and comment where you're watching from, and you're going to be entered for a chance to win a free 10-hour all day for two. That's a $180 value, absolutely free. All you have to do, again, is click interested on the event, like and share, subscribe, and then sit back, relax, and enjoy an hour of fishing tips, tricks, and more. This show is going to kick off at 8:30 p.m. So from now until 8:30, I'm going to get us all set up here and do some behind-the-scenes stuff. But the show is going to start around 8:30 p.m. So the next couple minutes, guys, just hang on with me. Again, make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, like our page, and click interested on that live Q&A event page for me. That way we help spread the word, and hopefully we'll have plenty of people watching tonight. Make sure you comment where you're watching from, and we're going to get started here around 8:30 p.m. If you're not watching this Sunday night, January 6th, if you're not watching this live at 8:30 p.m. January 6th, you can skip forward to where you see the video start. If you are watching this live, just bear with me, guys. We're going to get started around 8:30 p.m. And we're going to have some good stuff for you tonight, guys. So I hope you're excited. Someone's going to win a $180 value fishing trip. That's a free 10-hour all day for two people. All you have to do is put up with me for an hour and enjoy tonight's show. And you could win some free fishing trips. So should be a good time tonight. We're going to call Captain Frank. We got a video from Will to show you how to get grouper cheeks and grouper throats out of your next keeper red grouper, or when gags open back up, your next keeper gag. So Will's going to show us how to get grouper cheeks and grouper throats. Captain Joe's going to talk about his recent trips with us. Then we're going to talk to Captain Frank about his recent 10-hour all day where they killed him. We're going to talk about Captain Bobby's 10-hour all day today. We're going to talk about Captain Joe's half day today, and we're going to show you some fishing photos. Then we're going to answer your questions. Hopefully you guys have some great questions for me lined up. Make sure, again, to like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Hubbard's Marina Facebook page, and click interested on the live Q&A event page for a chance to win for a free 10-hour all day for two people, $180 value, absolutely free. Don't forget to comment where you're watching from. If you're watching this live, guys, bear with me. We're going to start 8:30 p.m. If you're not watching this live, you can skip forward to where you see the video start. Hopefully you guys have some good questions for us tonight. Always a good time hanging out with our fishing friends here at Hubbard's Marina. I really enjoy doing these shows. It's always a good time. So hopefully you guys make it an even better time with some good questions. And don't forget to share this with your friends. Tell everybody you know about this awesome fishing show we do every Sunday night for y'all. We're going to be doing this again next Sunday night. The Sunday night after that, January 27th, I will be heading to the National Marine Fisheries meeting. So Sunday, January 7th, we will not be doing this show. But next week, we're going to give away free fishing trips again. So we're going to start doing free fishing trips at every one of these live shows. So definitely hope more of you guys will join us. And we'll get some more questions, and we'll have an even better time with more of you guys getting involved. Make sure you comment where you're watching from. Make sure to click like on the video. Share the stream with your friends. Again, we're going to get started around 8:30 p.m. You got time to go get yourself a drink. You got time to go pop some popcorn. You got time to share this with your friends. Again, we're going to get started in about 4 minutes. I've got my drink already. Gotta start somewhere, right? I think my Sunday Night Live show is creating a problem, though. This is the only time I ever drink anymore. And I always end up staying up too late. I gotta work at 5 a.m. tomorrow. But you guys are worth it. I always enjoy hanging out with y'all. Again, we're going to start at 8:30 p.m. If you're not watching this live, you can skip forward to where you see the video start. If you are watching this live and you want a chance to win free fishing trips, make sure to comment where you're watching from, like the video, like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure to go to the live Q&A event page and click interested. All that stuff is going to get you entered to win a free 10-hour all day for 2 people. So definitely a great opportunity for y'all to not only win a free fishing trip, but help me spread the word about our Sunday night live stream show we do every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Tonight's live stream show is for Sunday, January 6th. Hopefully y'all have some good questions lined up to make tonight a great show. Like always, I always enjoy spending Sunday nights with y'all. And we're going to get started here in about 2 minutes. We're just 2 minutes away, guys, from the live stream fishing show. Hey, Michael Friedman from Seminole. I'm from Seminole too. What's up, buddy? We got lots of people on YouTube tonight. We got lots of people on Facebook. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Hopefully some of you guys are here for some of the fishing tips, tricks, and more. And hopefully some of you guys have some questions ready for us. And then hopefully some of y'all are ready to win a free 10-hour all day for 2 people. Again, to win the free 10-hour all day, you have to have liked our Hubbard's Marina Facebook page, subscribed to our YouTube channel, and then clicked interested on our live Q&A fishing show event page at the Hubbard's Marina Facebook, or you can get to it from our website. If you go to fishing trips, scroll down to where you see live Q&A fishing shows, you can find the event link to go click interested to get entered to win free 10-hour all day for 2. Now we're going to get rolling here in just a few more minutes, or actually just a minute. So hopefully y'all are ready. Again, you still got time to go get your drink if you need it, if you're not ready. But you have to hang out with me and enjoy the show to get that free fishing trip, guys. Make sure you comment where you're watching from. And let's get rolling. It's about that time. It's 8:30 p.m. Welcome to the show, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate y'all spending time with me here inside the Hubbard's Marina studio. It's really just my house. But hopefully y'all are ready for a great show. We're going to go over some of the photos from that crazy 39-hour trip that just got in this morning. My cousin, Captain Garrett Hubbard, ran that trip. They went out there into the teeth of a cold front, and they came back with some nice fish to show for it. So y'all want to see some photos? Do you want to see some photos from the trip? Let's look at some photos. I always like looking at fishing photos. So let's see some 39-hour photos here. You're not going to believe what we caught on this 39-hour trip. This is very interesting. Well, not so much this. We'll start out with this because it's the first photo, but the next photo is what you're not going to believe. So this trip had a crazy, crazy weather. They left the marina at 3 p.m. on Friday. We had that line of prefrontal activity coming. They had to punch through that big line of thunderstorms to get out there. Once they get out there and start fishing, it slowly got more and more rough till it was about solid 6 foot, maybe even 7 foot. Then around sunrise, they get another squall line, and they saw every bit of 8, maybe 9 foot seas, almost 10 foot seas around sunrise Saturday morning. And then all day Saturday, it progressively got a little bit shallow. But you guys are going to see photos of what they caught. You're going to see photos of the sea conditions. We're even going to see a video to show you Will's super cool catch. First mate Will McClure pulled in something really cool, so we're going to look at that. But this next photo here is Mr. Leo Smith from Tampa. Check this out. Look at the size of that bluefish. That is a true bluefish that we caught over 140 foot deep offshore, guys. I don't know how many of you know what a bluefish is. Bluefish aren't that common around our area. Mostly common in the Northeast. We do get bluefish in our area this time of year, but typically they're caught on the beach or near shore. I don't think I've personally seen a bluefish caught this deep, and at least in our area, and I've never seen a bluefish that large before. A true monster bluefish caught by Mr. Leo Smith there on our 39-hour. We've got a big old eel here caught by Mr. Danny Jackman from West Palm Beach. Brian Berghart here with the nice big mangrove snapper. The red snapper and the gag grouper bite was crazy. The gags were so thick, they caught over 100 gag grouper on this 39-hour trip and had to vent and release all those fish. They caught over 200 red snapper. So the bite, even though it was super rough, well, not super rough, pretty rough, and it was really windy, the bite was still really good. And now it calmed down slowly through Saturday and the weather got nicer. They were able to catch a pretty good amount of mangrove snapper and some really big mangrove snapper, as we're going to see. And they also caught yellowtail snapper. They caught some porgies, vermilions. They had a nice tuna. So they did catch a lot of other fish too. You can see some of that rough weather here. Unfortunately, photos never do it justice. I've been out there in 12, 14 foot seas, and you can't take a photo of a 14-foot sea. It always looks like a 2-foot sea in photographs, unfortunately. But this was a pretty rough weather conditions. Again, they saw about 10-foot seas at the tallest point during this 39-hour trip. But a lot of gag grouper, a lot of red snapper, some big red snapper at that. You can see part of that wave there behind Mr. Leo Smith, Omar Castillo, Justin Perlow from Sebring, some of our regulars, and then Will McClure with a monster gag grouper. Check that thing out. Again, unfortunately, gags are closed. But we do have red grouper to catch, scamp grouper to catch, lane snapper, yellowtail snapper, vermilion snapper, mutton snapper, and mangrove snapper as well. So plenty of nice fish to catch. Here is a good photo. Leo Smith is a little over 6 foot tall. You can see that wave. This boat is almost, I would say the deck is probably about 8 feet above the water. The rail is another maybe 4 feet taller. So that rail height from the water is typically every bit of about maybe 12 to 14 foot off the water, and that wave is significantly higher. So that gives you some perspective. That is a very large wave standing behind Leo as he's nailing the fish on this 39-hour trip. Brian Berghart drove a long way to get out on this 39-hour trip, and bam, there was a nice fish right here. Now, Will caught this mutton snapper on this 39 hour in a super unique way. So we're going to find out right now how he caught that mutton snapper with a nice, oh, maybe not. We're going to see it shortly. We got a little video from Will and John Martin to show you how Will caught that mutton snapper. You can see here the bonita strip was a super hot bite. We caught mangrove snapper with the bonita strips. We caught a bunch of vermilions, yellowtails, mangrove snapper, and of course the ever-present gag grouper during this trip. You got some nice red grouper, and then there is the mutton snapper Will caught. Really nice mutton snapper. And here is that video I was talking about. And it would help if I had the sound.
Rough weather, but the fishing is going great. We got first mate Will.
There we go.
We're out here today, ladies and gentlemen, in the beautiful Florida Middle Grounds. A little bit rough weather, but the fishing is going great. We got first mate Will here with a beautiful mutton snapper that was caught on this jig here. Hold it up there, Will, so they can all see it. Tell us how you did it, sir.
Well, I'm not sure if I've got it tied right. I guess you can tie it from both ends, but throw it out away from the boat and just slow jig it, let it fall back down to the bottom. And then they hit it on the way back down, and when you go to jig it again, you'll already have a fish on there. And this was the only mutton we got here. He really wanted that jig, I guess.
He did, and these can be bought exclusively at Hubbard's Marina. So check out the jig, and you want to come out here and join us, see Dylan Hubbard at Hubbard's Marina. He can hook you up.
A shameless plug there by John Martin. But yeah, it definitely was a great trip, and this mutton snapper was caught on that Daiwa SK jig. Now that is a slow pitch or flutter jig that we just got into our shop. We saw it at iCast. We had to have it. We ordered it at our recent Big Rock show, or our wholesale tackle show, and they just came into our shop not too long ago. These Daiwa SK jigs, they are kind of pricey. They've got the scissor hook assist rig, really nice assist hooks on it, really nice flutter jig. All of these slow pitch jigs are kind of pricey, unfortunately, but they do work. You can catch grouper, snapper, amberjack, a little bit of everything. We actually have guys who come out and do slow pitch jigging trips, only fish jigs. So jigs do work to catch fish, and Will proved it with that Daiwa SK jig on this trip, catching that nice mutton snapper. And you can tell Omar Castillo's a little jealous in the background. The triggerfish are going to be open this year. They're closed January, February, June, and July. So March, April, May, they're going to be open. Then they're going to reopen in August if the quota isn't closed. So March, April, May is our opportunity to get these great eating triggerfish. The red grouper, we got about a dozen red grouper. This was one of the bigger red grouper from the trip. We got some nice mangrove snapper. Again, we got over 100 keeper gag grouper that we had to vent and release. We got a bunch of American red snapper. We got Omar Castillo here with a big old fire truck red grouper. Another nice gag grouper, and then here was the big mangrove snapper from the trip. That thing was pushing a solid 10 pounds. It was a very nice fish, to say the least. So really good eating fish. The mangrove snapper bite was going very well on thread fins. We were catching a lot of mangrove snapper on that double snelled thread fin. Now, if you guys don't remember, we did a live stream show not too long ago where we showed you how to do the double snell rig. If you didn't see it, you can always go to hubbardsmarina.com, go to fishing trips, scroll down to fishing tips and tricks under fishing trips, fishing tips and tricks. Once there, you can scroll down on our fishing tips page, and you're going to find how to brine your bait and how to rig a double snelled hook. So you not only do we show you how to tie a double snell rig right here, this is how to tie it, and this is how to rig it. So we have tons of video there right on our Facebook or right on our website page to show you how to tie a double snell, how to rig a double snell, and then how to brine your bait and prepare your bait for that double snell rig. So really recommend watching those videos before you come out and do a 39-hour trip, a 44-hour trip, or a 12-hour night mangrove snapper trip, because that is the way you're going to catch a mangrove snapper like this. These guys are also biting on live pinfish. Now, Captain Joe's going to do a video here in a little bit, and he's going to talk about how to rig that live pinfish with a double snell rig for these monster mangroves. So stay tuned, guys. Now, here's a video from Will. We talked earlier. You want to see how to take the cheeks and the throat out of your next keeper grouper? Will's going to show you how. This was totally impromptu. Didn't ask him to do it, and he kind of surprised me with it, so the camera angles aren't the best. We're going to definitely ask Will to do this again. We're going to film it even better, and we're going to put it on our YouTube page. But for now, here's a quick video on how to take the throat and the cheeks out of your next keeper grouper. Plus, Will's going to talk about that 39-hour and all those crazy fish we just saw. So here's the video from Will, guys. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, guys, we're giving away a free fishing trip at the end of this video. At the end of this live stream show, we're giving away a free 10-hour trip for 2 people. That's a $180 value, but you have to like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, click interested on our live Q&A event page, and then you have to comment where you're watching from, guys. So stay tuned. You could win a $180 value worth of fishing trips by just hanging out here with me, but you got to stay tuned, guys. So here is Will's video, and let's learn how to take the throat and the cheek out of your next grouper. Hey Will, how you doing today?
Good. We got a mixed bag stringer here from the overnight trip. Big eye Toro in there.
Nice.
But I'm going to cut this red grouper real quick and cut the cheeks out of it too.
Cool.
Now, on a bigger grouper, I would take my time and go around it, but one about this size, I just kind of fillet it like a normal fish. Come up there so you get the head meat right there. And slowly work your way back.
Can't forget the forehead meat.
No. And they may have a worm or two in them. That one just like...
Now, this was the forehead meat that I was talking about, guys. Right down in here is where you're going to miss a lot. A lot of people will cut straight. And if you cut straight, you miss almost 2 or 3 ounces of meat. And on a bigger fish, you'll miss almost a whole fillet of meat. So you got to cut forward up towards the head. This is all meat in here, guys. So don't miss that forehead meat.
Looks like it may have one in it. It's the right time of year for that.
Yeah, they get less wormy this time of year. When it's warmer, they seem to have more, huh?
Yeah, summertime they'll be more wormy, especially the small ones. The big ones don't have too many worms. So this side, same thing again. I got up there where I got the head meat. Pick that fillet up, see what you got there, and then go on down. So now the cheeks, there's a few different ways to do this.
This is the cheeks?
Yeah, I do it the simplest way I know how. Is start right there on the back, work your way around. Now peel this up. And you don't skin it, you just cut a line right there. And the cheek pops right out.
Scalloping it.
Yeah, I can show you a little better on that side. Cut it all the way up, cut a line in it. And you just grab her and yank her out of there. Now,
Filleted and cheeks.
We might as well do this too while we're here.
The throat.
There's a little spot right there, you go up. Once you get to the top, you come down, you break one rib bone right there. Now you flip him over. And there's that same spot on the other side. I don't know if you can see it, that little thing right there.
Yep.
You go
up underneath it?
Yeah, you get underneath that. And same thing again, break that one rib bone right here. And now you basically got the throat out.
Just got to cut in pieces.
Yeah, so I just cut that right there. Got it on this side.
And then ripper. And that's how she's done.
Alright, and then this, I just take it, cut it down the middle, and kind of clean it out, of course, but and then butterfly it open like that.
That goes right on the grill. That's good eats right there. Filleted, cheeked, and throated.
Red.
Really deep. So how was the trip?
We had some weather out there, but as soon as the weather calmed down, we had a great day bite. Threw back so many fish.
Just some weather, huh?
Yeah.
Just some weather.
At sunup, it was incredible waves out there. But
10 footers?
Yeah, 10 footers. But it calmed down slowly after that, and then by the end of the night, it was almost calm.
Nice.
And we got on a good mango bite at the end of the night, but there's just so many gags mixed in with them.
Yeah. Gags mixed in with the mangrove snapper?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of gags and red snapper cotton release, huh?
A lot.
Yeah.
I mean, probably just as many gags as red snapper. If you guys see how many red snappers we catch, we call that many gags this trip too.
Crazy gag bite, all going home. But we got some nice mangroves. I heard you got a nice mutton.
Yep, mutton on one of those flat fall jigs.
The Daiwa SK jigs?
Daiwa SK. I couldn't think of it. We did a video on the boat. I couldn't remember the name of it. So,
well, cool, man.
Yeah.
So overall, it was a good trip.
Yeah, overall, we were even with rough weather, cold, we were able to put a catch together.
Nice. Just grinding it out. Very cool. Well, thanks, Will. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you next time.
See you guys. Well, there it was, Will McClure, our first mate, talking all about that 39-hour trip, and a bonus showed you how to take the cheeks and the throat out of your next keeper grouper. Remember, guys, we're giving away a free 10-hour all day. All you have to do is stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and click interested on our live Q&A fishing show event page. So make sure you stay tuned to this video, guys. You could win a free 10-hour all-day trip for two, $180 value, absolutely free. So let's see what those half-day trips have been catching, those half-day and all-day trips. You could win one of these, so let's see how they've been doing. So the hogfish bite, definitely picking up. We're definitely seeing a lot more hogfish near shore. Now remember, guys, you have to measure a hogfish to the fork. A lot of people out there are squeezing the tails and they're measuring to overall length. Overall length would be this little tippy point right here. No, hogfish is to the fork. So you have to measure to this point right here. If it's not 14 inches, he's got to go back. So make sure that you're measuring your hogfish to the fork, or you're going to get in some big trouble at the dock, guys. So hogfish are really starting to bite well. They bite really well all the way through the spring. At Hubbard's Marina, we got live fiddler crabs. We got live shrimp. You can stop by. Even if you're not fishing with us, you can stop by and pick up your bait at the dock. We have bait, beer, ice, all that for sale, and all the tackle you need to get yourself one of these great eating hogfish. They love live shrimp. They're biting on the fiddler crabs. The thing about hogfish is they're a little leader shy. They're a little unaggressive. They're one of the last fish to bite. So you really got to work for the hogfish. You really got to find that area. There's one hogfish. Once you catch one hogfish, you're going to catch a bunch more. So you got to kind of fish that area and fish them kind of hard. Now, the good thing, guys, again, on our website at Fishing Trips, you can scroll down to Fishing Tips and Tricks. At the Fishing Tips and Tricks page, we have a huge podcast we did with Salt Strong on how to catch hogfish. A lot of information there on hog fishing tips and tricks. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely check that out. It gives you a lot of information on how to catch hogfish. But again, very important, you measure your hogfish to the fork, not overall length, not to that tippy point, to the fork. 14 inches, guys. Now, nice gag grouper here. This was on the last day of gag grouper season. I snuck out there and got my keeper gag. Now, the flounder bite is going very well. We're catching a lot of flounder. We're seeing some really big flounder too. Now, these flounder, we're catching them mostly on the sandy bottom, adjacent to those rock piles, those nearshore artificial wrecks, and then also anywhere where there's sandy bottom patches. So if you're drifting over an area targeting those red grouper, you have a great opportunity for these flounder. I really like using a live shrimp or a small pinfish. This one I caught using a small pinfish and just a normal grouper rig, trying to target gags on the last day of gag grouper season. We were fishing one ledge and I wanted to fish another ledge close by. We bridled the boat to make that boat swing to that other ledge, and on that swing everybody was using those small pinfish. Ding, ding, ding. Rods doubled over and we got some really big flounder. So those flounder are definitely out there right now. You can target them on those sandy patches adjacent to any structure that's going to hold bait. So those nearshore artificial wrecks are a great opportunity to get plenty of big flounder. There's sea bass holding a nice flounder. There's Paul holding a nice flounder. We're definitely seeing a lot of these big flounder near shore right now. So it's a great opportunity to go get them. Another big hogfish there. Some nice mangrove snapper. Even near shore, we're catching a lot of mangrove snapper. Near shore mangrove snapper, anywhere from 40 to about 80, 90 foot of water, we're seeing huge mangrove snapper. Now, these mangrove snapper that we're seeing in 40, 50, 60, 80 foot of water, even 90 foot of water, are rivaling the size of the mangrove snapper that we catch on our 39-hour trips out around the middle grounds, elbow, and surrounding areas. So we have huge mangrove snapper near shore right now, and a lot of them. And they're very aggressive. We're catching them on live shrimp. We're catching them on whitebait. We sell whitebait at Hubbard's Marina as well. You can get your greenbacks and head out there and go smash some mangroves. We also have the live shrimp. We're catching a lot of mangrove snapper on the live shrimp. And then, of course, that double snelled threadfin. That's my favorite way to target those mangrove snapper. But we're seeing a lot of nice mangrove snapper. Now, this is a half-day fishing trip, only in about 45, 50 foot of water, catching monster mangrove snapper. Big American reds have moved inshore. The ever-present American red just seems to get more and more prolific around our area. While we're on the topic of American red snapper, we're expecting about a 60-day red snapper season this year for federally permitted for-hire vessels. So red snapper season should start around June 1st. And it should run all the way up until like July 28th, 29th, maybe even to the end of July. So really looking forward to a lengthy red snapper season for 2019. But book now. Those trips are already filling up. Our 39-hour trip, the first one of red snapper season, almost already full. A couple of them are already filling up. So definitely book your red snapper trips now. Those 12-hour extreme trips are going to fill up too. So get those trips booked. Now, really important, I wanted to show you guys again on the topic of catching all these red snapper and gag grouper. You can type into Google how to vent a fish Salt Strong, and Salt Strong worked with me to create a really cool article here. Just again, how to vent a fish. Salt Strong, they're going to show you all about where to vent a fish, how to properly vent a fish, and then we're going to have videos of proper fish venting. So I want to show this real quick and go over it one more time. All right, so I got the fish up off the bottom. When I felt that bite, I gave him a quick couple spins of the reel to hook that fish. Now I've got him hooked, and I'm up off the bottom, so I'm just going to finesse him. If he digs, I'm going to let him dig, and I'm just going to slowly reel him up. So he's digging a little bit. This, to me, feels like a nice snapper, shaking his head a little bit. What's funny is a lot of these snapper species, they have kind of the same head shake, kind of a quicker head shake, a little easy to tell what's a snapper. And a lot of times the snapper species will kind of give up. I have a feeling here in a second we'll see my rod tip kind of come up a little bit, and he'll kind of give up a little. See right there, his head shakes. He stopped digging. He's just kind of coming up smoothly now. So with these red snapper, trick to these guys, get them vented quickly. And you never want to poke or try to vent the fish in his stomach. You always want to try to vent the fish right where his fin kind of comes down. You can use the pectoral fin as a target. You just lift up the scale and puncture right in there through his swim bladder, and you'll hear the air escape. Once that air escapes, he's ready to go back down to bottom. That air escaping is what allows him to swim back down to bottom. If you don't vent the fish, he's gonna float away and die. So it's very important that you vent the fish properly, get him back in the water quickly. That way he has a chance to go back down and live another day. That way you can catch him next year when he gets a little bit bigger. So really important you vent that fish properly, guys. Right now we're catching a lot of mangrove snapper, or a lot of those red snapper, a lot of those gag grouper that are out of season, undersized red grouper. We're seeing a lot of undersized red grouper out there in deeper water. So if you run into a 14, 15, 16-inch red grouper, he's going to be a keeper grouper next year, unless you don't vent him properly. If you don't vent him properly, he's going to float away, die, and we're never going to have an opportunity to catch him. Same thing with these red snapper. If you don't vent that fish, you can see how bloated it is. If you don't vent that fish, he's going to float away, and you're never going to get an opportunity to harvest him. So very important you vent your fish properly, so that way we all have a chance to go get him. There's a nice red grouper from the 10-hour all day. Captain Garrett with a nice hogfish. Definitely seeing a lot of hogfish lately at Hubbard's Marina. The hogfish bite, again, is getting better and better. You got to measure those hogfish to the fork, not overall, guys. And here's Captain Joe with the video to tell you more about the bite lately at Hubbard's Marina. Hey, what's going on, Captain Joe? How are you?
Good.
So I know you guys ran some 10-hour trips this week. We did some 5-hour half days there at the tail end of gag grouper season, and I wanted to talk to you today about that nearshore mangrove snapper bite. It's going pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it is very good.
Now, what are you catching those mangroves on primarily?
The thread fins, we're catching most of them on. We've been using some pinfish too. For the end of gag season, we were using a lot of live bait, and the mangoes are eating the pinfish like crazy too. It's the best bite I've seen in a long time this close to shore.
Yeah, and we're catching them how deep approximately?
Anywhere from 40 to 90. I went all the way out to 90 feet on the 10-hour the other day, and we caught them all the way out. We stayed out there at that depth because the bite was so good.
And the size of these mangroves are nothing to joke about. I mean, these are some big mangroves, right?
Yeah, they are. They look like overnighter fish. They look like mangoes that we catch up in the ground.
Yeah.
Or in the elbow.
And how would you best recommend they rig for those?
Since gag season's over, I would switch back to 40-pound tests. We were using 60 the whole trip just because gags were in season, we were catching them. But now that gags are out of season, I'd switch back to 40-pound test and a double 4-aught hook with a sardine or even a pinfish on the bottom hook.
Cool. So when you're
and shrimp too. We're sorry to interrupt you, but we're catching some hogfish too. We're using shrimp for the hogfish, and the mangoes are eating the shrimp like crazy too.
Cool.
Really fun bite.
When you're using a double snell rig with the pinfish, how do you recommend rigging that pinfish?
I hook it on the bottom hook through the lips, through the bottom lip and out the top.
Okay, so up underneath the chin.
Yep.
Using that bottom hook, not the top hook.
Not the top hook.
All right, cool. And then as far as the shrimp are concerned, we're catching some good hogfish too, huh?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
how's the
catching a handful of hogfish too. I was doing a little better on the hub, fishing like 60-ish feet than what I did out in the deeper water, but we caught, I think, 4 on that 10-hour out in that 90 feet, 4 hogfish. But the bite's pretty good for the hogfish as well.
It seems like even the half day are doing pretty good on the hogfish, huh?
Yeah, I think the half day might be doing a little better in that depth, in that half day range versus going out to almost 100 feet.
Yeah, like that 40, 50, 60 foot range is doing better for hogfish than that 70, 80, 90 foot range. Yep. Very cool. And then for the hogfish, just the live shrimp, the fiddler crabs kind of deal?
Yep, live shrimp, crabs. But in that deeper water, the 70, 80, 90 feet, the lane snappers and mangoes and beeliners also. The bite's really good. Our 10-hour trips, if anyone's been watching the videos and stuff, have been really, really good trips.
Yeah,
real colorful trips.
That last 10-hour killed them, huh?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, cool, man. Any tips and tricks for these guys over the next week or so?
Just get out here. That's all I can ever come up with. You guys just get out here and the fishing's real good.
Especially this week with the way the weather is. We got a nice weather window at the beginning of this week. Tuesday's looking real good. You running any trips this week?
Yeah, I got a few. We have inspection on one of the big boats, so I have to prepare for that and do inspection. But once that's over, I have a couple of half days, and I think maybe even an all day. So I'm looking forward to getting back out there.
Cool. You got the important stuff this week keeping us running, huh?
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Captain Joe. I appreciate your time this morning.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
All right, guys. Now we got, that was Captain Joe there talking about these fish that we're catching on our 5-hour half day and 10-hour all day. And we've got Captain Frank here on the phone. Captain Frank, now you guys have been catching a lot of fish. On your last 10-hour, you said it was one of the best trips of the year, right?
Yeah, it was one of the best trips we've had in a few years, Dylan.
Dang. So explain that. What was so great about it? What'd you guys catch?
I'm glad you asked. we whacked the mangroves. So, man, they was just on fire, and it was a lot of people that didn't really, let's say have a good handle on how to catch a mangrove snapper. They're always harder to catch than anything else, in my opinion, for the most part. But, man, they were just foaming, man. And it's been like that the last few trips, but specifically the last all day, we did really well. We had 40 to 50 on board, and probably 300 per million snappers and lane snappers like crazy, strawberry groupers. We were throwing back gags left and right, of course. They weren't really big ones anyhow, but man, we just loaded up, and I know a lot of the people listening right now, they know how fast I clean fish, and I was cleaning fish for 2 hours and 15 minutes. That's unheard of.
Yeah, that's definitely unheard of. I wish we had a 10-hour all day this Tuesday. Unfortunately, the Coast Guard inspection, we don't have a 10-hour all day this Tuesday. We do have one Thursday. We do have one Sunday. We run those every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Frank, you normally run the Tuesday and Thursday trips, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
And Captain Bobby runs our Sunday trips. Now, Captain Bobby did really well again today. Now, I was telling everybody this morning, Frank, that it was probably not going to be that great of a trip today just because of the weather. That muddy water, the sand, the watercolor in John's Pass today was actually like a beach sand gray. It was so murky. So I was really not expecting the half day and the all day to do well today. But Captain Joe caught over 200 gray snapper on the half day, some nice mangroves, even a keeper hogfish. The 10-hour all day with Captain Bobby got over 40 keeper mangrove snapper, 145 lane snapper he wrote down, and then a bunch of vermilions and some more hogfish as well, plus nice big kingfish, and the tuna are going to start showing up too, huh?
Yeah, I forgot we got we've got a bunch of hogfish too on that last trip. Some nice ones, nice big males, and it's kind of, Bobby was probably getting out there a pretty good ways too, as I was also. We always fish to what we have to fish, and sometimes we can get away with just not going out too far to because we're hitting hogfish, and they're most of the time they're 40-60 foot range, and that's where I love to fish for them at. And but we popped out there a little deeper because of the way the water was churned up, and man, we just found this an area, a pocket that is just holding fish, and it's like crazy out there. And but we're going 22, 23 miles, and it just varies how far we got to go out. And this right now, that's how far we're going out. And the half day trips, I'm popping out there in 11, 12 miles, but man, we're getting big mangroves on the half days. We got 3 of them that look like they came out of the middle grounds on the half day, and a bunch of hogfish coming up also. I'm just using a little, I think a half-ounce jig head and a big shrimp, and they're there, man.
Yeah, for sure. Hogfish bites picking up.
We're calling it the year of the mangrove. It's the 13th year on the Chinese calendar.
The year of the mangrove. That's 2019.
The year of the mango, 2019. That's real. I think we're gonna be focusing on those and hogfish as long as they keep them open, But yeah, I think it's going to be a whole different ball game this year, and it's changed every year. For 3 solid years, we were doing the red grouper fishing. 3 or 4 years, and we were drifting every day. But we were coming in with, 35, 40 head of red grouper up to 60 head. And you're not seeing numbers like that. They just, overnight we're just gone. And now we got mangroves moving in, gags moving in better than I've seen in probably 9 years. And, we're just adapting to everything we're given,
Yeah. Just got to adapt and change, and we definitely have been doing well. And we're looking at some of these big mangrove snapper. This mangrove snapper right here, guys, was from a 5-hour half day. That's what Frank's talking about here. We're catching big mangroves on our 5-hour half days, 10-hour all days, and really all the trips right now. And we're looking forward to it getting better and better. Hopefully that water temperature doesn't get too low. It kind of shuts off the mangrove snapper once it gets in the low 60s, but it's not there yet, and it doesn't look like it's going to get there, hopefully.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a good year. I think so, because I know there's a lot of guys that used to fish with me, and they drifted with me lots and lots of times, and then there were some guys that didn't like fishing with me because that's all I did. But that's come and gone. The last 2 years we've been anchoring up just about every stop. I haven't drifted in I think I tried once last week for the first time in 5 or 6 months, and it's just anchoring's been where it's at, and that's what we've been doing the whole 10 hours, the last I don't know, dozen or more trips. That's all we've been doing, just anchoring, and it's producing, and it's great to be back online doing that. I'd be lying to say that I wanted to drift all the time, but it's nice to have that. To be able to drift for red groupers and the gray snappers, but right now that's not what we're doing. We're anchoring up every time. We're hitting them with the shrimps, and even the small pinfish are working great too for the mangroves. But
yeah. Well, I appreciate it, Captain Frank. Everybody appreciates the feedback here, and sorry for barging into your night, but I appreciate you taking our call.
No, I'm good. I'm glad you called. I love talking about it, and you can call me next week, whatever, and we'll do the same thing again. But I'd like to see, some fresh faces out there that that people that maybe listen in or watching, and that are looking to get out there and give it a shot. Tuesday's looking real good. I know we're starting to fill up a little bit on the half day tomorrow, but the half day on Tuesday is probably not quite as full. And still have one day of school left, right?
Yeah,
and one day out of school.
And the half day Tuesday, if it is starting to fill up, we're going to add a PM there Tuesday, because Tuesday's weather, they're calling for less than a foot. The weather is going to be perfect Tuesday, and then that water's going to be clearing up too. So Tuesday should be really, really great. That's why we were really hoping to have that 10-hour all day. But unfortunately, with Coast Guard inspection, one of the big boats has to stay at the dock. So we're going to run double half days on Tuesday, give you a chance to get out there and go catch some hogfish and mangrove snapper.
Oh, so now I got to work late.
Yep. And all you guys got to come so you can make sure he works late.
That's all right. That's all right. I love it. I love what I do. All right, man. We'll talk later, and hopefully we'll see a few of you guys in the morning.
All right, guys. Have a good night, Captain Frank. I appreciate you calling.
All right, later.
All right, so that was Captain Frank talking a little bit about these fish that we've been catching. Now, we want to talk real quickly about our 12-hour extreme trip, and then we're going to talk about your questions. We're going to answer your questions. Some of you guys have been posting questions in the comments. Tonight, we've had a lot of viewers. I appreciate everybody tuning in. We got up to over 200 live viewers there for a minute between YouTube and Facebook, so I appreciate y'all spending time with me tonight. We're going to talk about the 12-hour extreme, then we're going to answer your questions. So if you posted a question, feel free to post your question again, and I'll make sure I get to it here on the backside of this live fishing Q&A show. And if I don't get to your question live, I'll make sure to go back into the comments. I stay up late on Sunday nights to make sure any questions you guys post, I go back through and I answer in the comments if I didn't get a chance to answer it live. So don't be upset if I don't get to your question live. I'll make sure to go back and answer it in the comments. So here is Mr. Richie Golis, our first mate on the Flying Hub 2, showing off the last day of gag grouper catch. that is a lot of gag grouper. They did very, very well on the Flying Hub 2 through gag grouper season. And now that gags are closed, the Flying Hub 2 is transitioning into targeting red grouper, mangrove snapper, tuna, and scamp grouper, and all that stuff once March rolls around, the triggerfish. But right now, the Flying Hub 2 is out of service, and we had some really good photos of the Flying Hub 2 out of the water, getting its motor changed. But you know what happens, man? Stuff gets moved around, and I don't always lose stuff, but sometimes I do. So, unfortunately, we don't have any photos of the Flying Hub 2 out of the water, but we will have some soon. We've got new motors on the Flying Hub 2, and we're really, really excited to show you those. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about before we get to your questions was our Bass Pro Shop seminar. We've got this Bass Pro Shop seminar coming up. The date is wrong down here, guys. January 12th is our next Bass Pro Shop seminar. So definitely come see us January 12th for that Bass Pro Shop seminar. That's this Saturday at Bass Pro Shops. You could win a 10-hour all day for 2 or a 5-hour half day for 2. All you have to do is come join me this Saturday at Bass Pro Shops, 2 p.m. That's the Tampa Bass Pro Shops. We can talk and do this live fishing Q&A in person right there at the Tampa Bass Pro Shops. I can walk you around the shop. I can show you what I use. I can help answer your questions in person. Come join me at the Tampa Bass Pro Shops this Saturday, 2 p.m. Hopefully, we'll see you there. You could win a 10-hour all day for 2 or a 5-hour half day for 2. So definitely come see us at Bass Pro Shops. And if you can't make it to Bass Pro Shops, don't worry, guys. You can always watch the Bass Pro Shop seminar later right at hubbardsmarina.com. Once you're on our website, you can go to Fishing Trips, scroll down to Bass Pro Shops Fishing Seminars, and here is all our Bass Pro Shop seminars. And I will post Saturday's seminar right here to this page under Fishing Trips, Bass Pro Shops Fishing Seminars. It's got a map to find the Tampa Bay Bass Pro Shops. It's got their phone number, their address, and even a link to find the most recent Bass Pro Shop seminar. And then don't forget, if you want to win that 10-hour all day for 2 during tonight's show, you got to go to Fishing Trips, scroll down to the live Q&A fishing show. You can watch all of our past live Q&A shows right on this website page. All the past live Q&A shows, all the way back to the very first one. They were kind of crappy back then. Now they're a lot better. But you can watch all those past shows, and you got to click this event link. Once you click this event link, it's going to take you to the it's going to take you to our live fishing conversation Q&A page. You got to click interested. Once you clicked interested, you got to make sure that you've liked our Facebook and YouTube pages. Subscribe to us on YouTube, like our Facebook page, and don't forget to like and share this video stream, and then you get a chance to win that 10-hour all day for 2 guests right now during the show. So now that we've talked about what we caught, now that we've talked about our upcoming seminar, we want to answer your questions. Hopefully y'all have some questions. I know one question I had was about technology. How has technology affected our fishery? Now, technology has definitely affected our fishery. We've definitely seen a huge uptick in the number of private recreational anglers out in the water. If you got a couple $100,000, you can buy a really, really nice Go Fast boat like a Yellowfin or a Freeman or an Invincible with a couple motors on the back. You can fill it up with fuel. You can buy a Simrad system or a Loran system or a Lowrance or one of these really cool Garmin systems that literally do it all for you. They have GPS systems now that just blow my mind. For example, I know one of them, either Lowrance or Simrad, have a bottom machine where you can see a bottom show and you can click on it and it gives you the GPS coordinates of that show, which is just mind-boggling. They have side scan bottom machines where you can see photos of the bottom, like live images. They even have live live stream photos of the bottom. Basically, some of these bottom machines they come out with now are just so advanced. They really make it easy. They've got those GPS trolling motors where you can put a boat over a spot and hit a button, and the trolling motor keeps the boat over the spot. So the technology has definitely affected our fishery because it's made it easy for more people to go offshore and more people to be more successful offshore more easily. So there's definitely a lot of technology out there to make offshore fishing easy, but it's still dangerous, and it still is hopefully, for my sake and my son's sake, a little bit challenging if you haven't done it before. Now, we have a lot of guys that'll come out fishing with us, a lot of gals that'll come out fishing with us. They'll get the hang of it, they'll learn some things, and a year or two later, they go out and get their own boat and they learn how to do it themselves. And that's cool. That's what we're all about. We're all about teaching people how to fish. Obviously, we're doing it right now during our live stream shows. Our website's totally geared to help you go fishing, even if it's not with us. If you go to hubbardsmarina.com and click fishing trips, we have a huge weather links page that's totally geared to helping you fish more successfully on your own boat or someone else's boat. And it helps you check the weather. That fishing tips page is not just an advertisement for our boats. It's actually to help you on your own boat or your buddy's boat or a party boat. So definitely really, really interesting tools there on our website. Hopefully you guys enjoy the work that we put in there on our fishing tips page. And hopefully we'll see some of you at Bass Pro Shops and we can talk more about that. So let's see some of these questions. A lot of people posting their questions. I appreciate it. So let's see what's going out there. All right. When are the Mercs going to be replaced on the Flying Hub 2? They have been replaced. There's no more Mercury engines on the Flying Hub 2. We have Suzuki engines hanging on the back of the Flying Hub 2 right now. They're the 350 Suzukis with the dual props. So the Mercury engines are no more. We've got Suzuki's. We're waiting on a few more parts. We should have that boat up and running sometime either Monday or Tuesday morning at the latest. Then we're going to sea trial it Tuesday, dial in those props. Wednesday, we have to sea trial it with the Coast Guard, and then it should be ready to rock at the second part of this week. So that Flying Hub 2 has brand new shoes on it, and we're ready to go take them for a spin. Scott McLeod said, do you ever use descending devices to release snapper or grouper with the bladders? No, we don't use descending devices. Venting, as you saw earlier, Scott McLeod is our preferred method because when we're on top of a big school of fish and the bite's going really well and we've got 20, 30, 40 people on the boat, or even if we've got 12 people on the boat and we're catching fish like crazy, descending devices do not work on large multi-passenger charter boats or party boat settings. On a 6-pack charter boat or on a private recreational boat, a descending device is much easier, much better, and probably more preferred than venting. Whereas on a charter boat or party boat with multi-passengers, venting is preferred. We actually spend a lot of time on our 39-hour trips and 44-hour trips teaching people how to use a venting tool properly. We actually supply venting tools and we go over how to use them, so that way when we have 20, 30, 40 people on the boat, we're catching hundreds of gag grouper and red snapper out of season. These guests know how to vent and release that fish themselves, so those fish don't stay on the deck for more than a few seconds. We get them back in the water and they're swimming back down to bottom safely. We're all about that conservation. If it's not legal, let's get it back in the water. Let's get it back to bottom quickly. So we don't use descending devices for that reason. They're complicated. Very, very difficult. You would have to have a fishing rod and then a rod with a descending device. Whereas if you've got 3, 4, 5, 6 people on a boat, a descending device is totally realistic. With 15, 20 people on a boat, it starts getting unrealistic. With 30, 40 people on the boat, descending device would kill more fish because those fish would just take too long to get descended. For those of you who don't know what descending devices are, it's an alternative to venting a fish. Instead of puncturing that fish and releasing that excess gas buildup, it's hooking it up to this device, and you send it down on a fishing rod or on a line, and that fish returns to bottom, and that pressure repressurizes the fish, and he's able to swim off healthy without puncturing the fish. However, we catch fish multiple times. We actually work with the FWC, and they do tagging projects. So we'll catch a red snapper. The FWC will measure it, they'll vent it, they'll tag it, and we'll actually catch that red snapper again with a venting scar in it that's healed up a couple days later. So those scars heal up very quickly when you use proper venting techniques, and you vent them quickly, and you use the proper tools. It definitely heals very quickly, and that fish is able to feed again. And he's able to feed again so quickly, we're able to catch him just a few days later with that hole closed up and healed, and that fish is healthy. So definitely we prefer venting. As long as you're venting properly and you're venting quickly and efficiently, I prefer venting over descending because of the amount of people and the volume of fish. So hopefully that answers your question. A lot of people ask what's in season. Let me take care of that for you guys. Again, hubbardsmarina.com is just a huge resource. If you have not checked out our website, I strongly recommend it. At hubbardsmarina.com, you can go to fishing trips and scroll down and see fishing rules and regulations. A lot of people say, what's in season then? I'm going to be in town this date. I'm going to be in town this month. What can I catch when? Well, right at hubbardsmarina.com, fishing rules and regulations, you can scroll down and you can see the Gulf Council's fishing regulations for 2019 with a bunch of photos by yours truly, if I don't mind saying myself. There you go. A lot of cool photos in here this year. But all the fishing regulations are right here. But the best thing to do is download this Fish Rules app. We have the link to download it right from the site. So if you've got your iPhone, you can go to hubbardsmarina.com, or your Android or your Google phone, and go to Fishing Trips, Fishing Rules and Regulations, and you can download the Fish Rules app right on our site. That Fish Rules app is actually under contract with the Gulf of Mexico Federal Fishery Management Council, and they actually house the federal fishing regulations now. So if you don't have the Fish Rules app already, download it, because the Fish Rules app has the federal regulations right there for you. It's really easy to use, and you can see what's in season when you're in town. However, in the springtime, we're going to be targeting those red grouper, scamp grouper, triggerfish, mangrove snapper, yellowtail snapper, mutton snapper. And if you want to go catch a lot of big grouper, go deep dropping on the Flying Hub 1. Do a 15-hour trip on the Flying Hub 1. Go catch some big snowies, yellow edge, barrelfish, tilefish, queen snapper, and go out there and go deep dropping. So a lot of great opportunities to go fishing in the spring. Amberjack are going to be open May, September, October, November. Red snappers June 1st till around the end of July. We've got gag grouper June 1st through the end of the year. And then everything else is open except for triggerfish is closed January, February, June, and July. Everything else is open. So hopefully that answers your question about when what is in season when. Jeff Conrad said, how are the new Suzukis working out? Well, we haven't got a chance to run them yet. Jeff literally just put that boat back in the water today with those brand new Suzuki engines on it. We're looking forward to running that boat with the new Suzukis on it sometime tomorrow or Tuesday, and we're going to have a report on how those new 350s Suzukis are working out. So we're looking forward to it. Melissa Moody said, sorry if this is a dumb question. There is no dumb questions, guys. There's only dumb answers. So please feel free to ask whatever questions you want. I will be more than happy to answer them for you guys. And if you don't feel comfortable asking a question on the video, you can always message our page. I literally run all our social media myself, which is really dumb, but I do. So you can always message our page and I can always answer your questions in a private message, or you can email me. My email is just simply Captain Hubbard, CAPT Hubbard at hubbardsmarina.com, and I can answer it in an email form as well. There is no season for catching sharks though, Melissa. The shark species that you are able to harvest have a minimum size limit. Most of them do. And there's a few species you can harvest. Most shark are closed to harvest. You can only catch and release them. And here at Hubbard's Marina, we promote the catch and releasing of sharks. We don't like to kill sharks, but if it is legal and it is large enough to keep, you can have the opportunity to do it. But we are going to try to take you out of it just because they are apex predators. We don't like to kill sharks. And if you want to come out and get a pair of shark jaws, we're not going to take you. Straight up, period. We don't go kill sharks for the jaws. That's not what we do. There's plenty of operations that would love to do that, and that would take your money. Check out fishingbooker.com. They've got lots of people on that website that'll do that for you, but we are not going to kill a shark for its jaws. I know that's not your question, Melissa, and I'm not saying that, I'm not insinuating that is your question, so I apologize, but that really gets me worked up when someone calls and says, I want to go get a big pair of shark jaws. Well, no, that's not what we do, because to get a big pair of shark jaws, you got to kill a 10, 12, 13-foot shark, and what are you going to do with all that meat? There's no reason for it. It's just killing for killing's sake. It's killing for a trophy, and that's not what we do. It is fun, though. It's fun to reel in that 13-foot shark, take some photos with it, maybe jump in the water with it, take some video of it, and then let it go. But we're not going to take its jaws and throw it away. So let's see what other questions we have here. What is the best rod and reel combo for our 39-hour red snapper trip? Again, guys, our website, I built this myself. I spend a lot of time on it. Right at hubbardsmarina.com, you can go to fishing trips, go to 39-hour fishing trips, and the rod and reel combination, the tackle section, literally a 25-minute video here on how to pack for it, and then a huge section on recommended tackle that outlines the different rods and reels, large section on what you can't bring. Each one of our trips, like let's click on the 5-hour half day here. Look at all this information we have on our 5-hour half day page. Every website page is like it, shows you what you can catch, even has the name of it, has huge tackle selection paragraphs all about what tackle to bring on what trip. So we really, really work hard on our website to answer all your questions. So as far as a 39-hour red snapper trip, for red snapper on a 39-hour, I would use one rod and one rod only. That would be the Hubbard's Marina Bull Bay rod that we custom built for grouper and snapper and amberjack fishing. We have a really, really cool line of custom rods by Bull Bay Rods made for us at Hubbard's Marina. And then I would put my Daiwa Saltiga 2-speed on it. Got 40 pounds of drag. It's a high gear ratio reel. It's got the option for low gear ratio, so I can catch a 20, 25 pound, 30 pound red snapper with it. And I can catch a little quick biting 15, 16-inch mangrove snapper with it because of that high speed, low speed gear ratio option. And then with that super sensitive Bull Bay rod, I mean, you could feel a pinfish fart. It's so sensitive and it's super light. So it's really, really, really fun to fish with. That would be my go-to setup. And as far as red snapper goes, 60, 80 pound leader, really probably 80 pound leader for red snapper because they're just so aggressive. They'll bite just about anything. So especially in the beginning of red snapper season, I mean, you can catch them with a bare hook. They're so crazy out there in the Gulf right now. So 80 pound test, a big double snell, probably 6 or 7 80 pound leader, and probably use that thread fin because that would give me an opportunity not only for the red snapper but also for the mangrove snapper. But my secret bait for the red snapper when they get picky is that bonita. That bonita strip is a great red snapper bait when they get picky, but it's not often that they get picky. You can pretty much catch them on anything, and if you try not to catch them, that's when you're going to catch them. So there's a good trick for red snapper. A lot of people asking how much are our trips at hubbardsmarina.com. If you go to our website and click fishing trips, just click fishing trips. Don't scroll down, just click fishing trips. It's going to give you a list of all our trips. So our 12-hour extreme trip is $300, our 39 hours $369, 44 hours only $469, our 5-hour day trip is $55, our 10-hour all day is $90, our 12-hour night snapper trip is $129. I really don't recommend this trip. This is only offered in the 12-hour day trip for $129. It's only offered in red snapper season, and it's basically our half day for red snapper. Strongly discourage you from trying this trip. It only gives you a very limited amount of fishing time close to shore, whereas our 12-hour extreme trip, literally twice the fishing time, literally twice as far out, and a much lower capacity on the boat. More expensive, but you're going to get further, you're going to get out there faster, you're going to get more fishing time, more one-on-one help, and you're going to catch more red snapper. Now, a lot of people will avoid our 39-hour trip because it's too long, but you get 20 hours of fishing in a 2-day bag limit. That's 4 red snapper instead of just 2 on the 12-hour extreme. But if you opt out of this $300 12-hour extreme, you opt out of this $369 39-hour, and you opt for the half day for red snapper, that 12-hour day trip for $129, you get what you pay for, guys. You're not going as far out. You don't get as much fishing time. Surprise, you're not going to catch the quality red snapper that we see in deeper water. And every red snapper season, we get a ton of 1-star reviews from people who try to save money and go on the shortest trip for the cheapest amount of money, and they wonder why they don't catch 20-pound red snapper and 10 of them. Well, there's the secret, guys. Every year it happens. So avoid that 12-hour day trip, guys. Do a 12-hour extreme, do a 39-hour, do a Flying Hub 1 or a Hub or a Flying Hub 2 private charter. Get out there, get deep, spend some time out there, and you're going to catch a bunch of big red snapper. So hopefully that answers your question. Jameson and live stream shows don't mix. Let's see, what other questions do we have? Justin Howard, great question here. How would you say the youngest angler I should bring out? I have a 6-year-old that can't get enough of watching fishing shows, and of course I want to take him fishing. The 5-hour half day is your answer to your prayers. I've literally watched a mother nursing her infant child catching fish on a 5-hour half day. So literally the 5-hour half day is great for 2-month-olds all the way up to adults. So the half day is a great trip for any aged. It's an hour out, hour back, 3 hours of fishing. We're close to shore, and we're catching lots of fish right now. And the half day is only $55 for adults. 2 and under is free. We offer 2 and under is free on our 5-hour half day because we want to see 2 and under out fishing with their family. So bring your kids out fishing on a 5-hour half day. 11 and under is half price. It's only $27.50 to bring 11 and under out fishing that 5-hour half day. 2 and under is free. So bring your kids out fishing. Enjoy some fishing with your kids. Let's see, what other questions do we have? Jake Hodges said, how do you get a mangrove's vampire teeth out of your finger when they latch on? It does happen quite a bit. Those mangrove snapper have a jaw. They don't call them snapper for a reason. They can actually extend their jaw out and snap at your fingers or your bait, so you really have to be careful. And when they latch on, there's nothing much you can do short of killing that fish to get them unlatched. Kind of like a pit bull. They can really reach out and get you, and once they got you, it's over. you gotta end them before they take a hole out of your fingers. So definitely those mangrove snapper are dangerous. Let's see here. What other questions do we have? The Rod Maker Shop said, what is the basic setup for a 10-hour trip? Rod, reel size, line, weight, all of that stuff. Again, at our website, fishing trips, you can scroll down to the 10-hour all-day trip. And then right through all this information, where is the section? Honestly, I'm guilty of putting too much information on here. I can never find what I'm looking for. There we go. Here's our section on tackle for the 10-hour all-day trip. Large tackle selection, but basically here in this paragraph of information, we talk about the 10-hour all-day trip. You really want to bring a spinning rod type setup, either a 5,000, 4,000 series spinning rod. I like my Bull Bay Hubbard's Marina spinning rod reel with a, I really like the Shimano Stratic series spinning reel, the Stella, the Quantum Cabo series is a great reel. Something with some backbone that you're going to be able to really fight those hogfish and those bigger snapper with. And then a 2-speed conventional reel is what I use on the 10-hour, but that's a little overkill. You could get away with most 4/0 medium gear ratio reels for a 10-hour all day. But this time of year for a 10-hour all day, you're targeting red grouper. So a 4/0 medium gear ratio with 60-pound test for the red grouper. And then I like my high-speed reel for the mangrove snapper, or some people like using that spinning rod for the mangroves. I prefer my 2-speed Daiwa Saltiga for the mangrove snapper, but I do bring a spinning rod for the hogfish. Line size for mangrove snapper about 40-50 pound with a double snelled 5/0 hook. For mangrove snapper, a 4/0 hook with about 30-pound fluorocarbon. And then as far as the weight size, you want to match the weight size with what main line you're using. If you're using 60-pound main line, typically a 4 to 6 ounce weight, you can tend to drop the zero from the size main line you're using. If you're using a 100-pound main line, you need a 10-ounce weight. You're using 60-pound main line, you need a 6-ounce weight. Using 40-pound main line, you need a 4-ounce weight. Now, if you're using braid, those rules do not apply. You got to kind of change it up with the braid, because the braid is much thinner, cuts through the water a little easier. You don't need as heavy as a weight. So that'll kind of change your technique there. But let's see what other questions we have here. Lane Shaw said, do I need any special bait for mangrove snapper? My favorite bait for a mangrove snapper is what we provide on the boat, the thread fins. I just cut the head, cut the tail, trim the belly, and put that double snell rig in there. Right at hubbardsmarina.com, click fishing trips, scroll down, click fishing tips. Scroll down to the bottom. I'll show you how to rig that double snell rig and how to brine that bait. That's my favorite mangrove snapper bait, but we catch a lot of them on the shrimp. We catch a lot of them on other baits as well, but mangrove snapper, primarily those cut up thread fins, those live shrimp, and then the small pinfish. So that's what we catch them on. So as far as special baits, mainly just small pinfish, live shrimp, and then preparing your double snell rig for that cut up thread fin. So we are way over on the amount of time here, guys. Normally this is an hour-long show. We are already at an hour and 16 minutes, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up. If I missed your question, don't worry, guys. Don't worry. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna answer your questions in person in the comments. So if I didn't answer it live on this video, I'm gonna go back and answer it in the comments. So as far as the winner of the free 10-hour all day for 2 people, it's gonna be Mr. Frank Sarcone. Frank Sarcone is the winner according to that random draw. So Mr. Frank Sarcone, you can shoot us a message on our Hubbard's Marina Facebook page, and we're going to go ahead and pick that, or go ahead and send you that that certificate for a 10-hour all day. Frank, I'm glad you won, buddy. You have been watching this show from the very beginning for many, many weeks, so it's pretty cool that a long-time watcher won instead of some of you guys that just watched for the first time tonight because I was offering free trips. I see you guys. But hopefully everybody enjoyed the show, and hopefully everybody comes back next week. We're going to give away more free trips. This is going to be a thing now. We had over 200 viewers tonight, so we're going to give away a free trip again next week. So tune in next week. We're going to dial in the way we give away free trips. I want to get this wheel going. Apparently, I can get a wheel that pops up, and the wheel is going to give away free shirts, free tackle. We're going to get this live show better and better every week, so stay tuned. We do these every Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. Tell your friends. Make sure you click like or click interested on that event page. That'll remind you about next week's show. And make sure you have your questions ready, guys. Make sure you have your comments ready. And I'm going to answer your questions for you live. We'll see you this Saturday at Bass Pro Shops. You can win a 5-hour half day for 2 or a 10-hour all day for 2 this Saturday at Bass Pro Shops. So if you're local, you didn't win, come to Bass Pro Shops this Saturday. You could win twice as many trips just hanging out with me at Bass Pro Shops this Saturday. Tampa Bass Pro Shops, 2 p.m. We'll see you next week. You could be the lucky winner next week. And thanks for tuning in, y'all. Remember, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy. Have a good night.